Coach, I think for someone like you, and I had asked you, hey, what do we do to try to create sustainable change that's long lasting? You said right now you don't know, but I do think that there is something that you in particular have done that would go a long way in helping everyone. The one thing that we've learned from COVID-19 in this experience is the inequities surrounding healthcare for the people who have it and the people who don't, right? So that's step one. Two, the education and the resources there for inner city Black youth and the difference. Now, you go to ASU, you're a baller, right? First round pick, you leave after 3 years, you don't finish. And here it is, fast forward a couple decades, you go back to school, you get your degree. And I think that story in itself is a really powerful one for people who say, you know what, I'm a little bit too old to go back. I can't finish out. Or how important is it? You're multiple NBA champion. You've coached a bunch of teams in the NBA. I've talked about you as a player. You rolled with Magic Johnson, the Showtime Lakers and the whole thing. You've coached some of the greatest players in the history of this game. And yet here it is. You decided to go back. I know it was a promise for your mom, but how difficult was the decision at your age to go back? I won't say your age. We can leave that alone for a second. But
All right.
Coach, it couldn't have been all that easy.
It wasn't, and that was the scary part. At 58 years old, I'm saying, you know what, I want to go back and finish up school because I promised my mom I would do that, but I'm scared to death. I haven't been in a classroom. I haven't, been in a book that had, that was related to algebra or anything in 30 plus years. This is going to be extremely hard, but I got to at least try. And it was hard. It was very difficult because, again, at my age, sometimes you just get a little intimidated. You get scared, because it's a different time right now. So that was the first thing, was getting over the fear of saying, you know what, I'm gonna try this anyway. And you're right, Mike. I mean, dialogue is one of the key factors, I think, in us solving this problem. Number one, and education is number two. We have to educate ourselves on what's going on in America. I think not only African American people have to educate themselves on why the white people or the Caucasian people look at us the way they do. White people, you have to educate yourself on why we are the way we are, in order to really understand what's going on. And then we have to sit down and we have to talk about it. But education is so important. But for me, it was just a matter of just really just saying, you know what, I'm scared to death, but I got to try this. I promised my mom I would. And my girl, Jessica, who was my counselor at ASU, who basically took my hand and led me through this whole process. She was unbelievable and such a big help. And if it wasn't for her, I could tell you this right now, Mike, there's no way in the world that I would have got through this. And along with my wife-to-be, my fiance, who kept urging me every day, was like, look, don't you have a test to study for? You need to get on your computer and start working. I'm like, I'm tired. She's like, no, you got to go do this. You got an assignment due, you said last week, or coming up this week. So with those two ladies in my life, pushing me, it just made it that much more easier for me to get up and get on the computer. I'm very proud of myself because, again, I've never been a guy that's scared of a challenge. I've always looked forward to challenge, but this is the one challenge that did scare me. I will be honest with you.
I think you're in a really unique situation to have, I think, a leadership role in society as well because of your voice and because of some of your individual accomplishments. Just what resonates for you right now when you see how unsettled the country is?
You know what, Mike, it makes me very saddened. It has me waking up in the morning, shaking my head, wondering, how did we get to this particular point? I ask myself that question, but I know the answer. I know why we're at this particular point because, it's been over 400 years where we've been felt as a people that we've been treated or mistreated badly for so long, haven't been given the respect. More, I would say, unlike any human being on the face of the earth. As a people. And I think it's come to the point right now where we're at that point where we're saying enough is enough. And, I think we said that also 28 years ago, 1992, Rodney King, we saw on video getting beaten by 4 police officers as well. Nothing really happened to those police officers. And I thought Rodney King, favorite sentence was, can we all just get along? And even 28 years ago, we thought it was going to be big changes in our country when it comes to police brutality amongst people of color. And really, in those 28 years, as we saw a week ago, it has not changed that much. Um, I know, and I was saying this to myself this morning as I was driving on the freeway, is that as a former athlete who played this game at the highest level and who has played with some of the greatest players of all time, I remember we would be in the fourth quarter playing against a team that we knew wasn't good enough to play against us. And we would have them down by 10, 12, 14 points. And our motto was, let's put our foot on their neck and let's smash it down. And what does that do? It gives that team no chance whatsoever. It takes away every bit of confidence that they have, and it just makes them feel inferior. And that's what the nation is doing to us as we speak. They're putting their foot on our necks, or their knees on our necks, or their hands around our necks, and they're squeezing, pushing, and they're trying to just take the life out of us as a people. Well, this time, I think with George Floyd's untimely death, it's made people really look at this as, what, we can't take this anymore. But I'm hoping through all this that we will become closer as a country, and people will start to realize how important life is, period. It doesn't have to be black, white, brown, yellow, it doesn't matter. Lives are precious. Life is precious, and we only get one, and why you hating another man or woman because of the color of their skin is just mind-boggling to me. Now, you can hate them for what they believe in, what they stand for, but just because they're black or brown, it doesn't make sense to me. But I'm hoping through all this that's going on, because I'm seeing it every single day, is that we as a people start to realize, and I love the fact that when I'm looking at all these protesters, more than half of them are not black. You have all kind of different nationalities in there supporting this cause and saying enough is enough and we want justice. So I am a guy that's sitting here hoping for the best, but I was here 28 years ago hoping for the best as well. And I'm hoping now that we've changed, that we've turned that corner a little bit, and that life will be a lot better. Because I got 3 granddaughters that I want to be able to grow up and be able to go anywhere they want without feeling scared or nervous because they're the only person of that color in there. I don't want them to ever feel that way.